Howdy, welcome to VEDADWM, day number 26. Vlog every day about Doctor Who in Movember, day number 26. Character you wish had developed differently. River Song. Uh, I was one of the people who, in Forest of the Dead Silent Library, went, ooh, this is interesting. I was intrigued by it because it was like, okay, she knows the Doctor's future. That's an interesting concept. It's really cool, and it'll bring something else. It'll be really nice. My problem with her mainly was she got very little screen time. Now, the way that River talked in Forest of the Dead, Silence of the Library, was a sort of, we meet and I get dropped off every now and then. That's fine. I'm not going to travel with you full time. I'm a strong, independent person. I'm going to be all archaeology and everything. That kind of thing. It was like, oh, that's good. She'll be very much his equal in this, and she's got a lot of mystery, so she'll be able to sort of drag him around as much as he drags her around. They'll have mystery about each other. But then she came back in Time of Angels, Flesh and Stone. Then she left. Then she came back in the series finale, and then she left. And in all honesty, I wish that during her tenure she at least travelled with the Doctor for half a series, a full half a series. Just travelling with him, because what I felt that she hadn't developed in was that we didn't know her as a character. She popped up, and we got to know a bit of her, but we didn't get to see her travel with him and go, wow, new place. She was always calling the shots, which is good, but still, what I was most excited about was that they were going to be equals, that they were both going to be on the same footing in a way. They'd both have things knowing about each other, and you sort of see that in Let's Kill Hitler. He knows stuff about her, and it's like that kind of thing. They know each other, stuff about each other, and that wasn't used to its full potential, I don't think. She wasn't travelling with him and then, they popped up somewhere and she's like, oh, I've been here before, silly you, or something like that. There wasn't a domestic approach. It was very much, I'm a mystery, I'm going to pop up every now and then. And then that was what irked me, that she married him. I know that it was like, I don't count it as a marriage, I'm one of those people, yes, shut up. Because he married her to save the universe. If you watch it, he married her to shut her up, is basically it. I'm not saying that in a, I agree with that. I'm saying if you watch the episode, he married her specifically to make her kiss him and to create contact. That is the reason that the Doctor married her. That is it. And if she travelled with him, and if we got a bit more of her, I don't know, if she popped up in Torchwood or something, maybe she would have connected more. The thing with Rose, I'm going to bring up Rose, yes. You could tell she loved the Doctor because she travelled with him, she grew with him. At the beginning, she had no idea who that guy was. She just ran off in, because it's like time and space, going to run off. And she developed. She developed from being in a relationship with Mickey to saying, I don't want to be in a relationship with Mickey, and then eventually losing Mickey. And you saw a development. That's the important thing I wanted that with Rose, is because she travelled with him, because you saw over time, over episodes, not over a two-parter or there's a big gap, oh, she's developed. It just felt disjointed with River, and I think that might have been some of the point of her, but still, it's kind of annoying that we didn't get to see as much of her. She just popped up and went, spoilers, see ya. Here's a plot point, spoilers, see ya. And it just got annoying at a certain point, and, when the Doctor said, travel with me, I wanted her to say yes. Her mom and dad were gone. It would have been great if she travelled with them, and then it was like, TARDIS team would have been a bit big, but, 5e did pretty well. Well, Adric did die, but still. I think when he said travel with me, it would have been great to see her travel with him. At least then it would have justified her wanting to marry him, because you see, we get mini episodes of them running around with an umbrella, being like, "Oh, we're going to get executed," and having a bit of fun. And it's like that's what I wanted to see more. I wanted to see them on adventures, not her popping up and saying, "Here's a deadly thing. I know how to fix it, but I'm going to let you sort it out." That kind of thing. It gets infuriating that she was more of a plot device than a person, in my opinion. And it's sort of I just like seeing well-developed characters used to their potential. She was a good character at the beginning. I wanted to see more of her. I was like, this is an interesting person that I can engage with. And it was like, oh, it's a plot point. And it's sort of, she is probably the most Stephen Moffat writes women as plot points thing. But there is validity in that accusation over River, because she could have been so much more on screen. I believe in a way that she loved him because she was taught to love him. But if we got, I don't know, a mini episode or something, a version of your Love and Monsters, a version of your Blink, a version of your Turn Left, where it was a Dr. Light episode that said, this is River being trained, being turned into this. You are meant to, having all the silence being like, you are meant to hate him, you are meant to hate him, da da da. And her having, like, stolen a picture and being like, oh, I love you, or something, she's a good character. That's what infuriates me. That's why it's a tough love thing. A lot of Moffat's writing, the things that I have against his writing is tough love. It's, this could have been brilliant sort of thing. And then plot hole, or plot point character, What Russell did very well was he made characters people, not plot points. I think that's why I prefer Russell's era over Moffat's, especially Series 6. That's my personal opinion, obviously, again. But yeah, I wish River had developed a lot differently. Obviously, second place is Amy because she was very inconsistently written, in my opinion. Da 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 da. But I think with every other character in new series, I've sort of gone, yeah, Jack got Torchwood. That's why I liked him as a character. I connected with him more as a character because I watched Torchwood. There was something else to back up, his character, whereas we didn't get that as much with River. Anyway, let me know in the void. I love that I said void, and I don't think I realised until after a couple of days, and then I was like, the void, like in Doctor Who, and that kind of stuff. Anyway, beard is itching me. I'm probably not going to keep it now. I am very bipolar with my beard at the moment. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to get rid of it. Meh.